Good later morning to you all. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels. If anyone wants to know why I'm not doing this for once at stupid o'clock in the morning, this is my Saturday. So, without further ado, folks, we are going to that horror show that is also known as the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center in Canton, Massachusetts. We are opting to take a look at some more local coverage in regards to what is going on at the school. When I mean local, I am talking within the area of Boston, Massachusetts, one of the areas in the country that is supposed to be highly known for East Coast progressiveness. So, my morbid curiosity makes me dive in once again into the news coverage. Let's see what the local news stations out there are saying. This is coming from WCBV 5 ABC. The one reporting on this is Mike Burdett, and it shows he is a investigative reporter. So let's see here. Do we want to watch the video or do the transcript? I don't know. Feeling a little lazy. Let somebody else do this for once. Okay, let's see. And let me turn this up real quick so you can hear it. Okay, here we go.
A victory for the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center.
Seriously.
Celebrate summer with Black Friday savings at Ashley Home Store. Get up to 40% off or pay no interest for 72 months. Plus, special offers every Friday. Black Friday in July, happening now. Click the link and save today. Ashley Home Store. This is home. Center in Canton, a federal appeals court ruling the school can keep shocking its students.
Our Mike Bodette has been reporting on the controversial treatment for years. He's here with us now with the latest. Mike, at the U.S. Court of Appeals has sided with the Judge Rotenberg Center, the only school in the country that shocks its students with electricity. The court overturning the FDA's ban on electrical stimulation devices. This right here, video of a student being shocked at the Rotenberg Center after refusing to take off his coat, which became public during a civil trial. Outrage over the video eventually led to the FDA banning the shock devices. Now, critics call the practice barbaric, but parents of the severely disabled students at the school say the shocks are a life-saving treatment and the only thing that works. The FDA first proposed banning the devices back in 2016.
Yes, we all know what the parents have to say. But you notice what these stations always seem to do, right? Even those who, like that blonde reporter, thinks this is garbage. They quote the parents, they never quote us opponents. We'll go forward here. I'm sure I'll have something to rant about. I usually do.
And published the final rule banning them last year, although it had not gone into effect. In its 2-1 ruling, the U.S. Court of Appeals says the FDA lacks the statutory authority to ban a medical device for a particular use. In a statement, the Judge Rotenberg Center says the graduated electronic decelerator is a treatment of last resort, and its recipients are at risk of grievous bodily harm or even death without it.
Now tell me, boys and girls, what risk was Andre McCollins at when they decided to shock him over 31 times? Was he punching himself repeatedly in the head or in the eyes, as they always like to use that example the most often? Was he aggressively threatening anyone? No. What was this? Risk of grave bodily harm or death that he was shocked for over 31 times? Refusing to remove his coat. What are some of the other behaviors that have been noted by other investigative reporters that they are calling grievous bodily harm and even death without getting the shocks for it. Standing up without permission, talking excessively, blinking excessively, the flapping of the hands, which is boys and girls stimming in something autistics do. Some of us have learned to mask in this ableist society our own stims, hence why you never see me without a ponytail holder on at least one of my wrists. So if I feel the need to stim, I can do this, and nobody even thinks anything of it. That's something they would say could cause me bodily harm, possibly even death, and I'd be shocked for it. Let's move on.
With the treatment, these residents can continue to participate in enriching experiences, enjoy visits with their families, and most importantly, live in safety and freedom from self-injurious and aggressive behaviors.
This makes me want to throw up. How can you call living like that safe? How do you call it freedom? In what messed up world is being forcibly restrained and strapped down to a chair considered freedom? In what messed up world is being forcibly restrained and then caused physical bodily harm by a machine that is designed, by Matthew Israel's own words, to hurt people? How is that safe? A device that has proven to cause skin burns. A device that has been not approved by FDA to be used for treatment. We're not talking about the original GED that they passed their go-ahead on. We're talking about the GED 4 and the GED 3A that has no medical authorization from anyone. Look it up if you don't believe me. But let's go ahead.
According to the FDA, between 45 and 50 students at the Judge Rotenberg Center were receiving electric shocks before the ban. The FDA declined to comment on the ruling. Mike Bodette, 5 Investigates.
So once again, something that was left out. The fact that the UN...
Weymouth police are looking for the public's help to help solve...
I didn't realize it was going to continue to play, but you notice no mention that the UN Special Rapporteur... Oh, for the love of God. Would you stop? Sorry, people. I have no edit button. Okay. As I was saying... no mention of the UN Special Rapporteur on Torture declaring what happened at the Judge Rotenberg Center as a clear violation of human and civil rights. And they have ruled it as torture. People who specialize in the topic have declared it as torture. Also, again, it mentions opponents without naming those opponents. Again, no quotes from us were sought at all. Nobody reached out to us for comment. All we're hearing from is the damn parents. And sorry to say, but for us autistic boys and girls out there, this is more par the course. We very rarely are asked for comment. But considering what this is about, in fact, nobody has even reached out to the parent groups. Like, do you see anywhere on here that the ARC was reached out to? That the Disability Rights International was not reached out to? I mean, my God. We're not just talking about a local channel here. We're talking CNN. We are talking USA Today. And no one sought to get a comment from the UN. Nobody sought to get a comment from the ARC. No one sought to get a comment from any of the national and international groups who have called time and again for a national investigation to be done into this school. Interesting, isn't it? And all too often, as it is on Twitter, we trended for a day. One day. Through the collective efforts of millions and millions of autistics forcing it to trend. And then it just dropped off, and people are back to their day, as it were. Meanwhile, while we are talking, kids are being tortured. And by the way, if you think those numbers haven't grown since the scrutiny is now off of the JRC, of those who are on the shocks, don't think, even for a minute, now that it's been federally sanctioned, that they haven't gone back to putting the majority of their students back onto these devices immediately. Because you know damn well they did. All right. So, that is the disappointing local coverage from the actual Massachusetts state area, which is really sad because two of the biggest opponents to this horrific so-called treatment are actually out in the Boston area, not that far from Canton, which would be Lydia Brown and Shane Neuermeyer. No comment. They didn't even ask them. They weren't even sought out to get their comments on the ruling. Sad, isn't it? But anyways, we're going to go ahead and close out this morning. As always, folks, we don't get many views on this channel, especially on this topic. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time, so please feed that algorithm. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye now.